We want to send it back to the newsroom now with Jeremy Rogalski. Jeremy, what's the latest on power outages? We're having some audio.
Sorry about that, guys.
Okay, we got you. We got you.
First
Live
rule
TV.
of thumb in live coverage, turn on the microphone, right? For all those Houstonians who are new to the area, and there's a lot of them, we wanted to give sort of a Power Grid 101, a little tutorial on how those electrons actually get to your house. And for those who were here during the 2021 Big Freeze, consider this a refresher course. So this is ERCOT, and Cheryl's been talking about these operating reserves all morning. So there's 12,000 and change megawatts. Well, what does that mean? Well, 1 megawatt, okay, equals about 250 residential homes. So 1 megawatt can power about 250 homes. So when you have 12,000 reserves, the rough math on that is a 3 million home reserve. So that's a great thing. That's where we're at right now. Okay, so how does the grid work? There's about 1,200 different power plants of one form or another across the ERCOT footprint. And here's a breakdown of it. Okay, so down here you have nuclear, you have coal, you have natural gas. We're going to lump those, sorry about that, folks, we're going to lump those into a category, and that's what's called dispatchable, okay? What does that mean? That means it's a power plant that you can essentially flip a switch, right, and turn on or turn off. Up here, you have what's called intermittent, okay? That's your solar and that's your wind. That depends on Mother Nature. Is the sun out? Is the wind blowing? Can we generate enough electricity? So right now we have a good mix between dispatchable and intermittent. ERCOT, however, always is looking at this. They analyze everything up, down, left, right, inside out. And they come up with kind of a risk prediction. And this was what they came up with for the month of January. This is called the MORE report, or the Model for Operation Reserves, okay? And a couple of things to point out in here. Different times of day have different levels of risk. For instance, the key point here is during the 8 a.m. hour. I'll get my pointer working here sooner or later. During the 8 a.m. hour, you can't see that, but there's an 8% risk of getting into emergency conditions. So we've passed that for today. That's a good thing. Why is the 8 a.m. hour really tough? Well, solar isn't kicked in yet because the sun hasn't really risen and fired up those solar panels, and people are waking up. They're using their appliances, they're washing their hair, they're using the hair dryers, maybe they're running the dishwasher, load of laundry, etc. The second time during the day is from basically the 6 to 7 o'clock hour, and that's about a 3% risk of going into emergency conditions. So we've passed the morning threshold. We're going to keep a close eye on this in terms of the evening, and we're going to keep a close eye on what happens tomorrow morning, because again, Cheetah and our meteorological team have been talking about you're going to have much colder conditions, probably in the realm of 10 to 12 degrees colder in the morning. So that's something we're going to keep an eye on. Again, this is all on the generation side, the supply side. When we're talking about center point, that's the wires and poles, guys, okay? That's the distribution side. So when you see these localized outages, that has really nothing to do with the supply side. That's going to be your, individual issues. Did a car hit a pole? Did a local transformer go down? So when, we look at this, that's what CenterPoint is dealing with. And again, at this hour, we are in really good shape right here. 118 outages, only 3,000 customers out. I mean, that's comparatively nothing to what we've seen. So that's kind of your Power Grid 101. We'll keep on looking at all of this. And one of the things we're going to be especially looking at, if you recall those dispatchable plants, the gas, the coal, during the winter storm in 2021, that was the big problem because natural gas lines froze up, coal piles froze up, and so there was not enough fuel supply to make electricity. Combined with that, wind turbines were freezing up back in 2021. So it was really this cascading effect that ultimately put us in emergency conditions, and things went south from there, as we all remember. So guys, we'll send it back to you. We'll keep monitoring here, and we'll check back with you in a little bit.